Everybody loves a lover. I'm a lover. Everybody loves me.
We said it before, we'll say it again. For it's even truer now than then. Chevrolet is the one that proves the fun is in the going. Come rain or shine or snowing, the fun is in the going. In the slim line, fresh and fine Chevy. And the fun keeps growing as mile by mile. Your Chevy shows the fun is in the going.
Chevrolet is really swinging. In a Chevy you just can't help singing. Here's a car, there's zippin' zinging. Oh, what fun for traveling in. And now, get this, the fun is in the knowing, the fun is in the going.
So why don't you get going?
Come on in and try a new Chevy. For it's such fun knowing the fun that's yours when Chevrolet's the way that you are going. It's the pick for picnicking and lots of room for all the stuff you're bringing in. Excellent for exploring in.
For more driving fun like this, visit your Chevrolet dealer. Go for a pleasure ride. When you do, you'll find out.
The fun
is in the knowing, the fun is in the going.
in the slim line, fresh and fine Chevrolet.
Let's go for a spin. The Corvair was the only GM product in 1969 that had the ignition key on the dashboard. All the other 69s had the ignition key on the steering column, which locked, and that was a year ahead of the federal requirements for locking steering column. Another indication that the Corvair was not going to be built after 69. Which you can't do with any automatic today. So we're going to see if we can get onto the main drag now. Make the light. Probably the only drawback to the Corvair in 1969 was that the heater was of the direct air type, which means that since there's no radiator and no hot water, you had to get your heat from the engine compartment. And if you have any kind of an exhaust leak, or if you have an oil leak, the fumes will get into the heater, the passenger compartment, if you turn the heater on. So you have to just be careful that you keep the exhaust system sealed and that you fix any leaks as soon as you can, especially if you're using the heater in the winter. I have this carbon monoxide detector, which is useful to measure the amount of CO in the interior, and if there's a problem, you just open the windows for a couple of minutes and sort of ventilate the car, and then it's fine. It goes down to zero. It has a digital readout, so there's no we get an exact reading of how much CO there is in the interior. Usually it's zero, so I know I have a well-sealed exhaust system and a well-sealed engine, thank God. I don't think you can see the instrumentation from there, but you have a fuel gauge, you have an electric clock that works in this one, obviously speedometer, odometer, AM radio,
Napa Valley
works
mustard.
well. Under dash, FM stereo, CD, MP3 player, which didn't require any cutting of the dashboard. I'd rather not do something like that. Trying to keep the car as stock as I can, while at the same time enjoying some of the more modern enhancements that you can put in any car. Shifter here is not the original shifter. It's a one that I made by hand because I found the original shifter to be a little difficult to use because it was small. It was a little black knob with a short lever. This is a little longer, and I curved it upward. It's made out of hot water pipe, actually, so it's a little easier to reach and a little more comfortable to manipulate. The car, because it's a two-door hardtop, gives you a nice panoramic view of the road. You have glass all around, and visibility is great, probably better than most cars on the road. In the summertime, you can roll down all four windows. You can open these vents over here and get all the fresh air you want. So air conditioning was not available on the 68s and 69s. That's because the smog pump was a mandatory requirement on all 68 and 69 GM products. And in the case of the Corvair, the smog pump added heat to the engine. And GM engineers felt that with the air conditioner and the smog pump, the heat would be too much for the engine to handle. It would run too hot, so they just took away the option. And, you know, that was unfortunate because it just was another nail in the Corvair's coffin, and probably cut sales substantially because AC at the time was getting more popular. And if you went into your Chevy dealer and said, you know, I'm looking for something that I can have air conditioning with, he's going to tell you, well, Corvair's out because it's not available. Although you can get an aftermarket unit to install it, and some enthusiasts have done that. This has as I mentioned, the 110 horsepower engine, which gives you really adequate acceleration. Certainly not going to give you 0 to 60 in 5 seconds, but it's certainly adequate for everyday driving. In this particular car, I changed the jets in the carburetors. There were 50 thousandths of an inch, which is a standard stock jet, and I swapped them out for 48 thousandths. The main reason I did that was for fuel economy. I get a couple of 2-3 miles to the gallon better in the city, and on the highway this thing gets probably between 25 and 27. So for an older car, it's actually very good. There is a slight hesitation at about 20 miles an hour, which was not present in the old with the old jets, but it's not really that bad, and you get used to it after a while. But if I ever want to switch them back to the originals, I have them. It's like an hour or two amount of work. It's not really a big deal. The car has Petronics ignition, which means I never have to worry about tune-ups with points and condenser, which is good. Because I'm running it leaner, the spark plugs stay clean. Before, with the original points, rather with the original jets, after years driving, which in this one is about 3,000 miles, the plugs were black and sooty from the rich fuel mixture. Now they checked them this time and they were clean, so that also helped. As I showed you, this car has a catalytic converter on the back for 2 reasons. One is to quiet down the exhaust a little bit, and second of all, it does substantially clean up the exhaust, so you don't have as much pollution. As a matter of fact, the add-on catalytic converter, which cost me about 50 bucks, probably does more for emissions control than that smog pump did. The smog pump was, as you saw, removed. So, you know, what else can I tell you? It has a nice driving position. It has bucket seats. It has fairly comfortable steering wheel. Now, these seats are aftermarket seats because the originals are kind of low, and these give you